I'm just like, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and just give it a go. Hey friends, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. So I hope you guys are all doing well despite all that's going on out there. I know it is so crazy, but I hope today's video will be like, you know, just a little treat for you guys. Many of you guys have been asking me a lot of questions pertaining to my pregnancy and my journey, and in the midst of all those questions, there's one particular question that I've been asked so many times over and over and over, and I'm going to finally address it in today's video. So as many of you guys know, I am pregnant with baby boy, my first boy, after having 4 girls, and it's just like, wow, is this real? I feel like it's still not going to be real for me until the day that I give birth. So that's what it's been said. It's been confirmed 3 times by 3 different ultrasounds, and I'm just like, we're just all over the moon about it. So that being said, many of you guys were wondering, girl, what did you do this time to get pregnant with a boy? Like, I mean, I think everyone, including myself, thought I was destined to have a girl, given that I've had all girls, and I just thought that's just what it's gonna be. And so a lot of you guys are just like curious and are just wondering what I did. So let me start off by saying this. If you guys remember last time when I was trying to get pregnant, I did try the Shettles method. The Shettles method is basically when, like, you're basically kind of saving your time to be intimate until the day of ovulation or after, because at that point the egg will be that much closer, and then the sperm, the male sperms being they will have a greater chance of running and meeting that egg. Let's just say, before I continue, if you're new, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my channel so you can get caught up with my pregnancy journey and all that's going on, as well as if you're an everyday viewer, a loyal friend, hit the like button and leave a comment down below. So back to what I was saying. The male sperms are fast, but they just don't have longevity. You know what I mean? Like they are fast, but then they slow down. They can't swim for a long time, so they don't want to swim all the way up to the egg. They just want to see the egg and just meet the egg right there. Whereas in female sperms are not as fast, but they will swim for a much longer time. So that's where the Shettles method comes in. It's just basically like, if you're trying to have a boy and you want to have a son, get that egg lined up, sister girl, and then you try to meet it, and that's the point behind it. Now, I tried that method and I tried it for several months, but this is where I fell short. I fell short because I didn't get pregnant in like the 3 or 4 months that I tried it. Then I gave it a lot of thought. And it kept stressing me out in the background too, because like, if I've shared with you guys, like, technically I would love to have a son, but it's not like a goal that we're striving for per se. So when we were only trying during that time frame, it was kind of stressing me out, because if you guys don't know my background story, I have had a tubal reversal. I only have 1 functioning tube, and so it's gonna take me a little bit longer to get pregnant. Some doctors say it's gonna take every other month. Some doctors say that the tube will reach over and will suck up the egg. I don't know, because I've had both cases where I got pregnant immediately, and I've had now in this pregnancy where it's taken over a whole year. So when I was trying to get conceived with baby girl, I didn't know how fast I would conceive or how long it would take. Oh no, okay, this is where I confused myself. Actually, correction, it was this pregnancy, because with baby girl I got pregnant pretty much immediately. So when I was trying to conceive to have a boy, I was trying for 4 months and nothing would happen. And it really just came down to like really just being intimate 1 time, actually twice. I guess the day before ovulate, the day of ovulation and the day before. And obviously if you use OPK strips, if you got like a positive, then you, and like earlier than, you know, just your calendar, you just go ahead and do the deed. It didn't happen, and because of my situation with only having a 1 tube, I thought about it, and I felt like I was just limiting my chances, given that ultimately I just want a baby, and I want a healthy baby, and it didn't really matter if it was a boy or a girl. But like I said, it would be nice to have a son, to have a boy, and to mix it all up, because I've had the same gender 4 times. So for the record, the Shettles method was not my go-to. However, let's not get it twisted. Just because I didn't use the Shettles method doesn't mean that something didn't happen as to how I got the boy, okay? At the end of the day, I literally just kind of abandoned the method, and I kind of just went with the flow. However, when I did conceive this time around with baby boy, I conceived exactly around the time I ovulated. So it's so interesting because I just kind of abandoned it, the idea, and we were just like, okay, we'll just kind of go with the flow. And honestly, we were at the point where I think I was kind of just losing hope, because it's been a stretch where I didn't get pregnant. It's been like a year and some months where it just didn't happen, and I was just beginning to think, I don't know, is it going to happen? At the end of the day, I gave it to God, because like I know it's only going to be his doing. It's not just my wish, it's not just my will, because I want to be healthy, and I want to have a healthy baby, and I want it to, you know, I want him to be in the presence of it all. And so it's difficult to come to that point where you're just like, I gotta just give it over to him. It can't just be my desires. But you know, there's those moments where I was in my head and just thinking, perhaps it's not a part of the plan. Perhaps God doesn't want it to be. So in the month when I actually conceived, we weren't even, I would say I didn't abandon trying altogether. I think it was like the first month where I was just thinking, okay, I'm just gonna like not think about it for a minute. And so throughout that month I didn't actively try. And so my let me think, I didn't document anything. I didn't really go into my Glow app. But then, you know, we did the deed basically right on ovulation day. We thought, you know, I was just like, okay, like for some reason I just kind of got the spark that day where I'm just like, okay, you know what, let's go ahead and just give it a go on this one day, because I was feeling a little discouraged for a little bit, and I just didn't even care to try. But then I was just like, okay, whatever, you know, and we just went with the flow, and we did what we did on ovulation day, of course. And that's honestly, literally, I think the only day that or the only time that we were actually intimate around my fertile days. To tell you how absent-minded, we were just so busy too. We were like busy and overwhelmed, and just like frustrated, because it was actually the beginning of COVID, I think. There's just a lot going on around that time. We just weren't really thinking too much about any of this stuff, and that was that. So then comes test days. I wasn't going to test, but then come day 7, I think I tested day 7 or 8, and I was just like, okay, let's just check this out and see what's up. And that's how I figured out that I was pregnant. And I was just like so shocked, because like I said, it happened that one time. So there's like, as much as I want to say, at the end of the day, we weren't actively trying for the boy. We really weren't. But it just so happens that we were intimate on ovulation day. And that is when the Shettles method actually does require you to do the deed if you're going for the boy. And it just so happens that it all lined up. All my ducks were just lined up in a row, and it wasn't even my doing, like totally God. And so I feel like there's not a lot to say. I know many of you guys are actively trying for the boy, and I really don't know what to say about that. But the one thing I can say for myself that can hopefully bring you hope or peace is to be blessed. Like, to think about our blessings, and to maybe not focus so much on the gender. It's nice, it's a nice desire, but not everything is for everyone. And I'm not saying it isn't for you, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, life is so short to be so focused on something that we can't control. Like, we can't control the gender of our baby. And yes, some people will say that we can, but like I said, I've done the Shettles method where I was actively trying and it didn't work out for me. it all depends. You got to really put things in priority and decide which one is more valuable for you or valuable to you in the moment. It's either you really just want to have a baby and you really want to have a healthy baby and you don't really mind. You're going to give up. You're going to take advantage of all the chances that you have. Or you just want to have, you don't want to, you want to have a boy, and if it's not a boy, you don't want it, then you're just going to be like, okay, I will just focus on this one particular way. Because I do think that way does really work or play a part in it, but I'm pretty sure it could be flawed too, and it does not work. I don't know. That, you know, that's my message to you. I prayed a lot for a baby boy, and I know it sounds backwards, but I prayed and prayed to God to bless me with a baby boy, given that I've had all girls. But God also knew my heart that if it was a baby girl, I would be just as happy. I love my girls. They're like they're the best gifts I've ever had. I would never change it. So he knows my heart. He knows that I'm in a good place, that I would love on any child he gave to me. But he blessed me with what I also desired. So it's, you know, it's odd to say and strange to say, but that is just my story. That's just the way it is. And I know it's not the answer that a lot of you guys are hoping for, but at least you can see at the end of the day that I did conceive on ovulation, or right around ovulation, and it does kind of align with those methods that focus on that for getting the boy. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and a like, and leave some comments down below and let me know your thoughts on what I just said. And yeah, until next time guys, Sarah signing out. Much love.